Hello, how are you doing? I spent 31 years in the Philippines. Actually, I was born in the Philippines, and then uh, I stayed my place of birth for around 13 years, I guess. Um, I did my elementary grades in high school, and then I moved to Manila for college and postgraduate college. And that was for another 15 years, I guess, in Manila. That makes 29. And 2 more years after that, trying to look for a job or trying to make it in Manila, but I did not. So I moved away from Manila, away from the Philippines, and I moved after 31 years. I moved to Europe, England, and then I moved back to Asia, Hong Kong. Then I moved to America, USA, and I compared everything in the Philippines now, huh? Not before. So, as I said, I have my own place in the Philippines. It's bought and paid for, and I started, retiring there. 5 years ago, more than 5 years ago, and I was uh, counting how much I'm spending for the month. So I no longer pay for rent or for mortgage in there. And yet I was paying like $100 for electricity. Compare that to where I am now in States. I'm paying only $70. Of course I have solar. $70 a month, and I have 24/7 of air conditioning. I have 24/7 of 5 or 6 TVs or gadgets on all the time. I have at night. I have uh, lights all over surrounding me. The lights on the side, the lights on the front, the light on the backyard goes on for whole night. Yeah, I paid $70, maybe 75. But in the Philippines, I do not even use the air conditioning for 24/7. Just a few hours in the night, like 6 or 5 hours during the night, and during the day I used my electric fan, and I paid like $100, 5,000 pesos. See the difference? Now, if you come to look at it, I have insurance in America, so I have medication paid for by my Medicare, and the medications are paid for. So I have to compare that. If I don't have insurance in the Philippines, and then I have this much money I have to spend for my medications, and counting everything, including lab exams and doctor visits and medications. In the Philippines, without insurance, I'll be spending a total of about 160 to $200 a month. And in here, in the US of A, including everything I need for my medication, I'm retired, so I have Medicare, and I pay 185. So it's more expensive in the Philippines. Now comes your um, mode of transportation. I have a car in the Philippines. I have a car here. So in the Philippines, I pay for it's in liters, so it's 50 pesos. So in here it's a gallon. A gallon is about 3 liters to a gallon. So it's 180 pesos for 1 gallon. And in here it's 180, 150 in here, 140. So it's cheaper in here. It's more expensive in there. So I don't know, food stuff. Gee, it's even worse. So I went to a place called SNR. Have those sausages in a can, like so I counted the whole box at SNR is uh, it's at that time without the tariff yet. It was $11. It was $9 in here at that time, and now it's $12 in here, and it's $15 in the Philippines. So it's a lot more expensive in there. I don't know where they are adding their money from, and I think that the expenditures in the Philippines is lower. I doubt that. It's not easy. The only main difference I can say is that in the Philippines, you can have uh, assistants, your driver, your housemaid, and all that. And in here, I cannot afford that in America. Because in the Philippines, I pay like for my driver before I paid just over $18, 18,000 pesos a month. I cannot afford the driver here in America. That's the difference. When it comes to safety, and it's relative. In the Philippines, where I live, I'm safe. But when you go out, like if you would like to go to another place, you will have to pass by not so good places. And that's where your safety is at risk in there. It's more kind of in a place like in America, you would go to places in LA where it's kind of rough. In San Fran, it's kind of rough somewhere, but not as rough as in the streets uh, of Manila or Quezon City or Tondo, especially at night. You don't dare go out at night and be at risk for your safety. But as I said, safety is relative. You could be anywhere in this world and you still have crimes. But beyond the averages, I find my place here a lot, way lot safer than anywhere in the Philippines. I live in here at Seven Hills in Henderson, Nevada. Look it up, see what it looks like. Seven Hills. Okay, now we kind of think that all those who try and live in the Philippines to retire are risking themselves. As far as I know, out of 20 people who in my family and friends who retired in the Philippines, four of them came back out of 20. Three of them passed away in there, and another three are trying to come back here and come back to America. So if you look at the averages, maybe half those who try and retire in the Philippines half of them come back here anyway because it's not for the faint-hearted. As I said, I lived in there for over 30 years in the Philippines. I know the in and outs. I know which government entity, who are the corrupt people, what to do, talk about this thing and that. I know because my grandfather was a lawyer, an attorney in the Philippines, and my father was in the government. My sister was in the government. My grandmother was in the government system. My grandmother was a school teacher, elementary school teacher in the Philippines, way back in the 60s, 50s. And so was my grandfather, who was a lawyer for the DPWH, it's Department of Public Works. My sister worked for the University of the Philippines system, uh, public. My brother also was uh, worked for some time at Bureau of Mines, but only me. I did not work for any government agency in the Philippines. Hearing from all the stories from my father, who was in the postal service in the Philippines, and how things goes on. My grandfather talking about corruption, and my sister doing talking stories. She recently actually retired from the University of the Philippines, Philippine General Hospital system as a senior researcher. But what do you think? Do you think she would stay in the Philippines? Now she's now here in America, and she's retiring here. You see, it's not easy to retire in the Philippines. You must be crazy you wanted to retire in the Philippines. The healthcare system sucks. You hit or miss, and if you hit, you have to pay for it. You miss, you still have to pay for it. It's expensive. It's not easy, as I said. Now, whatever else you wanted to think about, uh, uh, it's just that you are, you know, risking yourself retiring in the Philippines. There's not much you can say about. If you want to see the beauty of nature, you can do that. Sure, there are a lot of places in America. You go to Guam, you go to Saipan. Those are American territories. You don't need a visa to go down there. You go, you go to, well, Hawaii. That's nature. And you even can go to Florida and all that, and you'll see a lot of nature. And when you go to tourist places in the Philippines, like for example, Boracay, wow, guys, so commercialized, and you cannot breathe. You want to relax, unwind, and enjoy nature. But when you go to places like this, you see a lot of people all over you. You get a lot of people. Oh, can you buy this? Can you give me this? Nah, that's not. That's for my. That's not for me. I'm. I would never go to Boracay. Never. Not in my lifetime. I I can see, people who are from have connections, like their girlfriends, boyfriends who are Filipinas or Filipinos, and they're from here. Everything is cut short after what, maybe the most is 5 years. Rare for anybody to last more than 10 years in there after moving to the Philippines because you will be drained financially, or emotionally, or mentally, or physically. You'll be drained and not worth it. Of course, you can visit the Philippines anytime you want. Like, for example, me, I visited 3 or 4 times already in my retirement. I have a place, I have a car. I don't need to pay anything except for my food, but I don't trust the medications I have in there. I bring my own medications from America, or I don't see, you know, uh, the healthcare system helping me out, and the justice system in the Philippines sucks because it's so corrupt. All you need to do is just pay. When you pay somebody in there, chances are your your whatever you're doing is going to be resolved. It's it's a it's a sad thing. I don't enjoy. Well, I sometimes enjoy when I go to the provinces because we still have a house in our provinces. My wife has a house, ancestral house in Pangasinan, and some relatives are living in that house, and then in our house we rented out our house in the Visayas. Rented out. I haven't been there. We haven't been there for, of course, uh, stay there. And here you also have the problem with typhoons, monsoon rains, and all that. And the problem with that is that everything is disrupted when you have flooded areas. Sure, your area might not be flooded, but if you were going to go to a place along the way there's flood and you're cut off and you have to wait until that thing uh, subsides. So that's how it is. It's not what to say. uh, so of course some other places like England, or in or on mm, Korea, Japan, have nice good places, but because these places are over regulated, should I say. In order for you to survive, it's more expensive in there, and it's over regulated. Too many rules restrict your freedom. That's what I'm saying. Where I am at now, so far I'm happy. I'm going to stay here for some time, and if I can find another way to go to another place to retire, continue my retirement, I would. But at this time, this is the best for me, for us. Okay, well then, we'll see you later. I'll park my pen here. Bye now. Thank you for watching.